Why do men always come back? How can you understand this guy? How can you make him want you again? Hello, ladies. Welcome to Love Advice TV. I'm Coach Alex with the one and only Coach Adrian. How are you doing, Coach Adrian?
Very good. Very happy to do this topic together and to really pick your brain and your expertise to help out our community.
And you know what? We will have a lot of fun, ladies. We know that this situation is not easy. You want to get him back and you think that it is not possible. But I always say that men come back, and they will come back the moment they lose you, the moment they see that you're changing, and the moment you have done a very good personal transformation. And this is your expertise, the personal transformation. So to help women, to help these ladies that are listening to us, how can they change in order for them to be more confident in front of this guy?
Thank you, Coach Alex. I think that is a critical element that we see in coaching sessions every single day. I work with amazing, confident, beautiful, successful women every day. A lot of them are actually quite successful in every area of their lives. But when it comes to love and relationships, they struggle. You are not as confident. You start to second guess yourself. And sometimes you don't know why. Why are you able to manage things perfectly well in your professional life, in your social life? But when it comes to love, you always seem to be anxious, fearful of pushing them away, fearful that they're going to leave you. And very often it happens that actually your worst fears come to life and they're manifest. And so it is very important for you to master those fears, those insecurities, and those anxieties if you are to be in a successful relationship. And the first step is to acknowledge, of course, what is going on and to seek to find security and validation outside of the scope of that relationship. It is not for the men to give you your sense of self-worth and your sense of security and validation. You need to find alternative ways to feel comfortable and to feel good in love. And many times I see patterns. You know, you've been in a series of relationships where men have left you. And so you start to expect this to happen again. And those expectations are conveyed in your behavior that actually push those men away. But in this video, on this podcast, we're really going to dive deep into this notion that in most cases, if you're able to overcome those fears and those insecurities, the men come back and they chase hard, because as men, that's what we are wired to do. As long as you're not making it so easy for us, as long as you're a challenge, even if we have broken up with you in a previous relationship, we end up coming back because we realize that we care. We realize that perhaps we were not as emotionally secure and mature as you are. Perhaps we want the same things, but we're not there yet. And so finding ways to really lead this process by focusing on you and not letting your fears get the best of you is the way to pave the foundation or to pave the path towards men coming back. And I know that Coach Alex has worked with so many individuals all over the world and helped so many people to get a man to start to chase. And so I really wanted to pick your brain to understand the male psychology and also the reason why men feel compelled to come back even when they have broken up, I should say, in a previous relationship with that same individual?
I have to say that it is insane to me. You know, I've been doing coaching for 15 years now. It is insane the number of men that comes back the moment you become a challenge again, because you were a challenge in the beginning. If we dive into your story, it's always the same pattern. So this guy will meet you and he will start to chase you. He will tell you everything that you want to hear. He will do anything that is possible to get your attention. And the moment you start to give back, that's where they start to take you for granted and they will leave you. So it's not a breakup. It's most of the time a lack of attraction and a lack of challenge. And that's why we say that men always come back. It's because deep inside us, you said that we were wired to chase, and it is the reality. This has been proven scientifically. So when I realized that, I understood that it's more a challenge attraction game, but not the process of breakup recovery. And so that is a good news for you, because when a guy makes a decision to leave you, it's because of his emotions on the moment. But emotions can go high and can go low. So you can regain control very, very fast. So that was first thing first, what I wanted to tell you. Number two, when it comes to male psychology, you have to understand that everything that you received as education from Walt Disney, from Hollywood, from your mom, from the society, everything is actually the opposite, right? The more you give to a guy, the more you please him, the more you become what he wants, the less he would care about you. And this is, for me, completely strange. But if you realize that you're here because you were trying to please him instead of being yourself and being different and making yourself assertive in this relationship, then you realize that you can make him come back very fast. So I was very surprised, Coach Adrian, when I realized that women received the wrong ideas regarding men, and that they don't really know how to challenge, specifically when they like the guy. Because I'm sure you have seen this in coaching. When you don't care about this guy, you can do whatever you want and you have the right behavior. You make this guy not just fall in love for you, they are obsessed about you. But when you start to like a guy, you start to please him and to give unconditionally. But sometimes, especially in the beginning of relationship, it's not the right behavior. What do you think of this? Because sometimes, you have some different experience, but I want to pick your brain also on this idea of what I see every single day.
I see it too, and it breaks my heart. And one of the biggest challenge in coaching is helping a woman move from anxious to secure in love. It's not an easy process, but it is one that is possible. And in some ways, it is linked to you and your ability to see yourself as the prize, to see yourself as being whole with or without him. Your ability to really not let any man validate you. And I see this in breakup recovery processes all the time, when women are so afraid to lose a man that they are unable to be patient enough and secure enough to get this guy to actually chase you. I know that it is inevitable in some cases, inevitable that this man will come back and check up to get a sense of validation, to realize what he has lost. And the challenge in the coaching session becomes giving you that sense of confidence and certitude so that you're resilient and patient enough to let him do the work, to let him chase. Because that's what men are wired to do. We love our independence. We love our freedom. We love to provide. We love to chase. Of course, there are exceptions. But in many cases, men are comfortable in those spaces. And giving yourself that ability to let the man do the work is something that is sometimes easier said than done. And that is our challenge as your coaches, to help you believe in yourself in that way and to have that sense of security and certitude as to what you bring to the table, and the fact that this guy would be an idiot, quite frankly, to not put you in your in your rightful place and to actually do the work. And so what I see in coaching sessions is men take women for granted because they're not as emotionally mature, and they push them away, only to regret their decision. And they come back, and unfortunately, many times, you don't force him to do the work. You're so quick to take him back, or you're so quick to compromise your values out of fear of losing him that you ultimately end up pushing him away.
I want to add something, if you'll allow me, Coach Adrien. I always say, and this could be hurtful, but listen to that. I always say that men don't come back for you. They come back for them, for their ego. They want to make sure that they are still having some control, that they can do whatever they want with you. And so when they come back, they will tell you what you want to hear. They will say what you want to hear. They will do what you want to see. But it is not for you to make you happy. It is for them and their ego. This is what I see usually. And that's what I love to tell you, ladies. Because when he comes back, if you take things for what he says, if you take things for what he will show you, you will just go back in the same process. And as Adrien told you, you will not make him fight.
So one of the questions that I get asked often in coaching sessions linked to that is, how do I know that the man has changed?
Mm-hmm.
How can I know that I can now trust him? And I have my own answer and perspective on this, but I wanted to also kind of get your experience and insights on this issue, because the reality is that you've coached more women than I have in these types of dynamics.
So there is two things that I will look at. Number one, when a guy comes with words, I want to make sure that there is explanation. Let me tell you, like if someone is coming and tell you, I have changed, I am different, I love you, I can't live without you. This is beautiful, but there is nothing, no substance, no reason. But if he tells you, you know what, I have realized during the last week by reading this book, talking to my friend, going to see a coach, a psychologist, that I am avoidant, I love my freedom, and I was feeling so a little bit suffocated, but now I can understand myself better, and I want to talk to you, or I want to see you again. Because of this little explanation, it is the truth. It's not just based on emotions. It's based on someone that did a job. Number two, to make sure that you can trust him, time and consistency. So if you take the time to rebuild attraction and you see that this guy is showing up days after days, you can trust him again. Because men, they will come back to you. They want to have sex. They want to have control. And if you challenge them a little bit, sometimes they will go see another woman when they are not serious. They prefer to go back on Tinder instead of making the job. So time, consistency, and explanation are the two things I will look at. What are your answers?
It's aligned with mine. I often go back to making sure that their words and their actions are in harmony, right? Because it's very simple. A lot of men are very good manipulators. Yeah. We know what to say to get to where we want to go. And so it's very easy to deceive someone through words, but it is a lot more difficult to deceive someone through actions, because our actions are a direct reflection of our thoughts, our mindset, and our intentions in some ways. And actions, consistent actions over time is the best way to regain trust, to rebuild trust, right? And so I love what Coach Alex said, because in some ways there's empathy that is conveyed, there's authenticity that comes out of that, and you address the root cause of the issue in that sense, versus just expressing love, which is, good to hear, but also can feel very, very dangerous. And so once you understand these dynamics, once you realize that the guy stands to lose more than you do, even if you love him so much. The reality is that you're not lowering your standards. You are maintaining a certain level of expectation in your value, which is critical in this process of breakup recovery and in this process of making sure that a man will fight for you. When you start to lower your standards, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble because you're no longer a challenge. The man sees that he has you wrapped around his pinky, and even if he treated you as his girlfriend before, he will not see you as the dream girl. Mm-hmm. And that's a common mistake that I see because you're so afraid of pushing him away by rejecting him or by not answering or by calling his BS. You're so afraid that he's going to just go and see someone else, that you accept certain things that you should not accept. And trust me, it's double trouble because number one, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's like a slow process of death of the connection and the relationship. And you lose a big part of your self-respect and your self-love and your ability to kind of stand strong in the face of tests with men. And it compounds the problem over multiple relationships moving forward because you start to, give in and give in and give in. So not all men are bad. Many have sincere, pure intentions. And oftentimes we see men that are with women that are manipulating them as well. So it's important for you to check yourself and your ego and your intentions and the mistakes that you have made as well along the way that has pushed them away. I do not want to stand up here and portray all men as being manipulators and wanting to just, take advantage of you. It is not always the case. But there are certain types of men that pry on just getting women to fall in love with them, and then they move on to the next. And we want to make sure that you're protected from that, while also making sure that you have no regrets, that you have done everything that you could to rebuild a healthy relationship with a man that you know is worth it, with a man that you know you can build something of substance with. And that's kind of why we do what we do.
And sometimes we say that men come back. That doesn't mean that they will come back with a love letter, with flowers, with big gifts. Sometimes they will just come back with this text message, hey, and they want to see how you will respond. Will you be happy? Will you talk? Will you tell him that you're hurt? So they want to test you. They want to basically analyze your behavior. So when we say that men come back, it's not with only love declaration or love feelings. No, it is also just to test and see how you feel. I had this coaching session with a client. She's amazing. She lives in California, and she told me, Alex, basically I didn't see him for 3 weeks. He was avoiding me. Now he's back at the gym that we work together. And he was looking at me but didn't come and say hi, until I had to tell him hi because I just crossed by him. So this guy, he knew what he was doing. He was conscious that he came at the hours that he knows that she would be there, and he would not say hello because he wants her to come to him. So these are, for me, the real toxic situation where you need to be aware of his behavior and that this guy is conscious of what he's doing that is not nice. But there is also, as you just mentioned, a lot of men that are genuine. You were just maybe a little bit needy or too much available, and just by becoming distant, this guy will come back. And what they want to hear is no. For example, if they want to see you, no, not tonight, I can do it this weekend. If you can sometimes just show that you have a personal life, if you are busy, that is enough for a guy. So we are giving you the solution. We tell you why he's coming back and how to manage that. Sorry, I know that you want to say something.
No, I just wanted to add a bonus question, because I know that a lot of the women that follow us on our podcast are trying to get back with a specific man that they were in a relationship with. And a question that I often hear from this demographic should you never reach out to a man first if you're trying to get back together? Should you always wait for the man to take that first step to rebuild communication? if you want to get back together or after no contact. And I wanted to have your expert perspective on that important question.
So basically, I would say yes. We have to set your mindset. Because if I tell you, oh, you know what, you can reach out to him, oh, you know what, for sure we will do some actions, you will not do the personal transformation. And so when he comes back, you will just be waiting for this moment. So when he comes back, you are coming back also in your bad habits. So let's say that we have to wait for him to come to you. And we have to set your mindset that when he comes back to you, you will be different. Now, we have the same vision, which is we don't want you to have any regret. So usually after 4 to 5 or 6 weeks, if you don't hear from him, I allow you to do an action, but that will be something completely different. We will talk to this guy like nothing happened. We will give him news about something very important in your life that is different and new. So when we come back with this positive energy, we can make him feel that his idea of you was wrong. This woman that was needy, available, maybe too invested in the relationship, has switched to this amazing independent. This is the word that you need to keep in mind. Independent woman. So my opinion is to say during the next 4 weeks, please don't do anything and set your mindset. And it's enough because usually after 2 to 3 weeks, guys come back to you.
So I am so happy that we're able to do this topic together.
Yeah.
And Coach Alex has had the influence to touch millions of women around the world who are looking to find the right man, who are looking to attract that said man, and also looking for guidance to keep him so that you don't go through relationship after relationship, heartbreak after heartbreak, to make sure that you're able to nurture that relationship with the right man. If you're looking for guidance on how to repair a broken relationship with a man that you love, Coach Alex has created amazing resources to help you take the next step, to really understand how to navigate communication, but also to make sure that you know how to keep this man on his toes and to help create the right habits so that this man will continuously nurture and honor the relationship once you get back together. And I invite you to check out his free resources in the description below. Whether you're on podcast, listening to us, or on our YouTube channel, those resources are available for you. That is why we do what we do, to be able to continuously give you more and more resources when necessary. So that is our gift to you. And thank you for being a loyal subscriber within our orbit and our community, whether, again, you're subscribed to Love Advice TV, our YouTube channel, or to our podcast. We are so thankful for you. And we're going to continue to give out more free goodies, more free live trainings, more resources, more videos. You can count on us to do that. Until then, if you have specific questions, you know you can leave those in the comment section below. Coach Alex and I are going to do very, very soon a free live training on how to make a man come back to you. An in-depth training specifically for you guys. So please keep an eye out for that. Until then,
keep fighting the good fight. Thank you so much, guys.
And see you very, very soon.
Bye.